All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome. Today, we are going to be going over my run at the Magic the Gathering 28th Annual World Championship. 32 players. I guess the best players. I don't know. The very good players playing in the biggest event of the year with a $500,000 prize pool, $100,000 the first place, and I was one of them. And I worked with the event for the event with my small team. Obviously, I'm screwing things up. Of myself, Eli Kasif, Jakob Toth, and Mike Sigris. Of course, me and Siggy teamed together at a Pro Tour like 15 years ago. Known Eli for a long time. Didn't know Jakob until this event, and he's awesome. And so we see them here. And it was a Dominar United draft. It was standard, and it was Explore on Arena. It was an in-person event, but played on Arena. And I qualified at the at-large things. And I want to just give a kind of a little brief. I'm going to go through the event, talk about a little bit about our prep, the event itself, and I'm also do a separate match review of my future matches that will not be in this. So we did a ton of testing for this event, but we had some cool decks we didn't play actually. So you can go over and look at those. We late in the process discovered the Dredge deck, which is this deck here. And I didn't play it. I didn't think it was good enough against Esper. Really, really cool deck. I'll play at some point on stream. It's like a legendary creature graveyard deck. Oh, it's funny because it kind of informed our 2-drop in Esper. We'll get to that in a little bit. This deck was really cool, but didn't play it, of course. Siggy was on Jund for a large portion of the testing process, only changing to Esper with us later on. I was also interested in Jund, but ended up not playing it, and I think no one played Jund actually at Worlds. So, Invoke Despair, and yada, yada, yada. But the decks that we played in Standard, you can see here we played Esper. Esper was a very large percentage of the field. I think our deck was pretty well tuned for the mirror. It was much higher than we thought it was going to be, but our deck was pretty sweet, honestly. We spent a heinous amount of time trying to figure out what 2-drop to play. Ended up on Ludovic, which was actually really, really awesome. 2/3 bodies, very important to block Fable tokens. And then the mill would every once in a while hit a Danik or an Underdog, which is great for some value. But the coolest thing about Ludovic is when you hit it off of Owl of a Dawn Sky. So your opponent, you attacks into your Owl, you block with it, they trade. You hit a Ludovic, you untap, activate it for 5, make a new dragon, and then attack immediately, which is super awesome. So that was really, really cool. We had our one Peacekeeper here. You like this card a lot. I don't really know about the one Peacekeeper, honestly. Just ended up being there. And nothing too crazy here. Plaza of Heroes is really, really good. A little more of a legend theme than some of the other Esper decks. But all in all, nothing too crazy here. We just played a good version of the best deck. We couldn't really find anything else, and that's where we were at. However, for Explorer, things were much more interesting. We played a deck that I thought at first, I was like, what? Ely brought this deck to us, and I'm like, get this bullshit out of here. All right? Terrible mono blue deck, sure. I'm going to play Rakdos and crush you. We'll go on to the next thing. And I played Rakdos mid-range against Ely playing his deck, and he beat me. And then he beat me again. And then he beat me again. And then he beat me again. And then I was like, all right, I'll play Rakdos Sacrifice. There's no way this deck beats the Mayhem Devil deck. And then Ely beat me. And then he beat me again. And I was like, all right, what's going on here? So the big thing here is, of course, Explorer is on MTG Arena. It is Pioneer on Arena, but not every card is there yet. There's no Rending Volley yet. Rending Volley is a 1-mana, deal 4, can't be countered to a blue creature or white creature. And, of course, very, very good against this deck, but not in the format. And this deck is exceedingly good against Greasefang, against Fires and Invention decks, any slower deck like that, very, very good. And the fear is it wouldn't be so good against Rakdos, Fatal Push, etc. decks. But the reality was it wasn't really even that bad. The deck is so cheap, also has so many cheap spells in it. And the big tech we found that actually sold me on the Rakdos matchups was Leyline of Combustion. And this is a pretty surprising card to see in the sideboard of his deck. There are 4 of them. And you know me, I know I hate Leylines, but whenever it's in play, whenever you or at least one permanent you control becomes target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, they take 2. So they thought it's easy, but they take 4. They push a creature, but take 2. They have a Mayhem Devil in play, it almost becomes a liability because every time they use it to target, they take 2. So you end up being kind of like a beatdown deck post-board against Rakdos. Works out really, really well. The Shredders are very, very good for the mirror, and then also in the Rakdos matchup to discard extra ley lines. And this deck was phenomenal. We'll get to the actual results when I go over the event, but so that was our prep. We are very, very excited about this deck. And then our draft prep was pretty good. I honestly struggled a bit in this format. I don't think I really got over the hump. We'll get to that. So the tournament starts and it is a draft to begin, and the draft did not go very well. I was in the same pot as Jakob, and my first pick was a Mossbeard Ancient out of a pretty stinky pack. Wasn't very exciting. Ended up not playing it. Second pick, Extinguisher Light. Rare was missing. And then ended pack one with a bunch of Teamer cards, kind of just like floating around. Nothing really great, not a lot of removal. Pack 2 I opened Serra Paragon. The one color I'm not, so I have to pass it. And I end up with a kind of scrappy, crappy, but not very good blue-green splash red deck. A lot of flyers, Soaring Drake, Pixie Illusionist, Lookout. No rares. We have a Balmor, which is pretty good, and I'm sorry, we have Ivy as a rare, but not the best rare ever. It's only had one pump spell. So play against Jakob in the first round, lose a really close match, but I take the loss. Lose round 2 to Greg Orange's deck, which contained Shana, Dronith, the 5-mana 4/4 lifelink first striker, Green Defiler, and 3 Sentries. So my no removal all flyers that kind of no chance to win. And then I won the last one against I forgot who it was. I'm sorry. So when I won 2 in the draft, wasn't very happy about it. And yeah, I got some rares in the mana base. Yeah, honestly, it was a mistake to play Thread Portal. It should have been a Mountain. There was no reason to play Thread Portal. This card's just too freaking awful. So 1-2 in the draft, not feeling so great. And honestly, the team didn't do very well in the draft. Siggy went 0-3 with a pretty good deck. Jakob, of course, 2-1'd, and then Ely 2-1'd also. It went into our standard rounds, and the standard rounds went very, very good. I went 4-1 in standard. The team did very well, and at the end of the day, Jakob was 6-2. Me and Ely were both 5-3, and I think Siggy was 4-4, coming back from 0-3 pretty well, which is nice too. So we all did quite well in the standard portion. Some mirrors. I played against a Bant Tokens deck. I played against a Jund Reanimator deck. But a lot of it all blurs together, honestly. So it's an online event. I was at my cubicle on my computer with some headphones on. I was playing some music, and a very, very stressful event. Really, really high stakes matches. On to day 2, where of course we were playing our Spirits deck, and we absolutely crushed day 2 with the Spirits deck. Our total combined record on day 2, not including mirror matches and team kills, was 17-3. I went 4-2 on day 2, losing only to Ely and Jakob. Ely went 6-0. Jakob went 4-2, losing to Ely, and then lost to a Greasefang deck, is whatever. And then Siggy went 3-3, had some bad draws, and then lost to Reed Duke in the mirror, where Reed had 4 Mystical Disputes on his board. So, not counting mirrors, we went 17-3 on day 2, which is unbelievable. It's a strong field. And I have here, unfortunately, the end of my win-in match. Of course, I had to play Jakob for the win-in, which obviously sucks because we both wanted to be in top 4. Ely was already locked for top 4 at this point. Very, very difficult game. My head's still spinning. I'm gonna do a match review to be separate from this recap, where we'll go over the actual game. But probably the most stressful day of Magic I've ever had in my entire life, and the most stressful game I've ever played in my entire life. Playing for top 4 at Worlds, literally $100,000 on the line. And the mono blue mirror was pretty atrocious, honestly. We didn't really prep for the mirror because we didn't plan on other players playing it. There were 5 blue decks in the field, us being 4 of them, and then Reed also played it as well. I'm going to skip ahead here a little bit. Again, I'll do the review. So, unfortunately, I lost, and that's tough. That's pretty tough. You can see here the coverage was great, though. We'll see the reaction shots. So there's Jakob, and there's Ely congratulating him, and there's Siggy, and there I am. Corey right there in the background to help come console me. Props to Corey. I love Corey. Corey's a great dude. We hung up, played some poker on Sunday, and obviously, I told Jakob before the match, whoever wins, it's an absolute pleasure working together. And we got a little team hug here, Siggy and Ely. And I think the coverage getting these shots was like unbelievable. Super, super A+ coverage for getting the real reaction shots here, which is super, super cool. And so again, I'll go over the actual matches in my match review, but just an unbelievable event. After splits, so of course if you missed the actual coverage, Ely lost the finals unfortunately, and then Jakob came in 3rd. So we came in 2nd, 3rd, and 5th of our 4-person team in 32 players at the highest level of competition in the entire world, which is honestly just an absolute blessing. We did so well in the tournament. I'm so proud of them. I'm so thankful to work with them. They're all just phenomenal. We were so sad Ilya didn't win. Ilya had already beaten Nathan in the Swiss, and then won the first match of the best of 3. I think he might have beaten him in the top 8 also, because it was like a double elimination bracket. But unfortunately, Ilya whiffed on an Aho, which probably would have won him the game and the tournament at a crucial point. The matches are on YouTube. You can go watch them on the Magic YouTube. But unfortunately, ultimately, Nathan won. Nathan's really good, and it was really, really, I was mad that Ilya lost, but seeing Nathan look so happy that he won was like, all right, I guess this isn't that bad. So, 2nd, 3rd, and 5th, we had some team splits going on. After all was said and done, I won $25,000 about, which is unbelievable. And yeah, it was just an unbelievable event. So, again, I'm going to do a match review of this. I just want to get kind of a recap up on YouTube so everyone knew how the event went and stuff. I'm going to write an article for CoolStuffInc.com going over the matches with a little more depth. I'm also going to have a sideboard guide on there for both decks from our testing or whatever, so that'll be on as well. So look for that on CoolStuffInc.com. And yeah, we'll start the match review now on stream, but YouTube folks, have a different video. Like, comment, subscribe. You're all awesome. Thanks so much. 5th place at Worlds on tiebreakers. Thanks so much.